Is the Triple M investment scheme a Ponzi or a pyramid scheme? What prompted the National Consumer Commission's investigations on pyramid schemes? Is it legal for consumers to join pyramid schemes? And why are the hawks investigating Triple M? What time is it? It's question time. Welcome to the show. My name is Mpho Tsedu. The Consumer Protection Act states clearly that a person must not directly or indirectly promote or knowingly join, enter or participate in a pyramid scheme. This has become more topical as pyramid schemes in general and the Triple M investment scheme in particular continue to make news headlines. The future of Triple M is hanging in the balance following its collapse in Russia, where it is believed to have its roots. Meanwhile, the hawks, with the support of crime intelligence police officers, have launched an investigation on the investment scheme. We are live, and therefore you can call us. The number to dial 089-1104-210. If you're outside the borders, 002-789-1104-210. Our Twitter handle at QuestionTime24. My guest, Hangwani Mraudzi, he's the spokesperson of the DPCI, which is popularly known as the Hawks. He joins us from our Sea Point studios, and we expect to be joined by Trevor Hatting, Consumer Commission spokesperson as well. Hangwani, let me welcome you. Oh, and Trevor as well, let me welcome you both, gentlemen. Let's firstly get something clear here, Hangwani. Is Triple M a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme, and is it illegal?
Mpho, thank you. Thank you for having us and giving us this opportunity to speak to the nation. Well, we are in the process of trying to ascertain whether this is a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme. What we can confirm is that we received a complaint from the National Consumer Council that there is this entity in the country that is believed to be a Ponzi scheme, and there is rooted in the country where there's a lot of people that have actually joined it, and at the same time we needed to look into its workings, how it operates. Hence now we have you might call it an investigation, but we normally call it an inquiry. There's an inquiry that has been opened, and there is an investigator from our commercial crimes unit who is looking into this, where he will be able to give us a report, and that report will then be able to ascertain as to whether we should continue with this investigation or not.
Trevor, I think let me welcome you as well. Why did you even approach the police? What's wrong with Triple M?
Well, it's very obvious. A pyramid or a Ponzi scheme, the objective thereof is to defraud a person of his money. And fraud is a criminal activity, and criminality is investigated by the South African Police Services.
But what is illegal here?
Well, I mentioned in my opening statement that the objective of a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme is to defraud, and fraud is criminal.
Well, they're saying they are neither A nor B of what you have said. They are not a Ponzi scheme. They are not a pyramid scheme.
Well, that is exactly what we are investigating, and that is what we want to establish, whether or not they are a pyramid scheme. But what I can tell you as a fact is that they bear the hallmarks of a pyramid scheme as well as a multiplication scheme.
Okay, who is being defrauded here, Trevor?
Participants in a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme maybe I must begin by saying this. A pyramid or a Ponzi scheme will collapse at some point in time. And when it collapses, the participants in that scheme will have absolutely no recourse under the law. And that is when they're going to lose their money. And when they lose their money, it basically amounts to fraud. Because they've entered into a scheme or an arrangement whereby they have no tangible documentation for their participation in the scheme. They've got no recourse, they've got no head office, they've got nobody that they can go to when they want to claim their monies back if and when the scheme collapses.
But Hangwani, aren't the police supposed to investigate crimes where the complainants have come up and said we have suffered some loss here?
Well, look, we are in a very tight situation here because we would love to have people coming to us and give us that information. But it seems as if people are very much reluctant. And as an organization, we have a responsibility to make sure that the interest of the country are taken into serious consideration. In this Ponzi, or you call it a pyramid scheme, we are talking about millions of people. That is the information that we have received so far, that they have joined this Triple M. And we are talking of millions and millions of rands that might have been invested, if we want to use that word. Now, like my colleague said now, if that scheme has to collapse, how much money is the government going to lose? How much money is this country going to lose? Are these people doing this thing following the due processes or following the policies of the country? Issues like tax that has to be paid and all those kind of things. No, it is very much difficult now, as it is,